just prioritize about I already have my like day scheduled or already planned out of like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is just driving for dollars, just going, looking for houses. And then I'm gonna start following that routine of 2 to 7 where I make my calls and try to work something out. Um, I guess when I do eventually find a seller, thankfully I know I'm very familiar with how to run comps. I do sales for a living well, going to stop that, but um, so I feel like I can kind of talk my way into a deal. And then after that, it's technical stuff that I guess gets me the most nervous is like getting that contract sent out, making sure it's properly written, buying whatever. And after that, associating with the title companies around here and finding a buyer.
Which is crazy to think, Sam, because actually, it's kind of the opposite way. And when you start getting into it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's actually the comping is actually the quote unquote hardest, right? Because the contract is already there. Title company, they already know what they're doing, and you kind of rely on them as long as you vet the right title company. So that's actually the easiest. The part that we all tend to overthink on the most is actually ends up being the most simple part. And so, but it's natural to overthink on those things. So, nothing wrong there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, like comping is essentially just, hey, here's the house.
Mhm.
Within like a maybe a 1 mile radius, you just find houses that are recently sold that have the similar floor plans. Like, do they have a garage, a pool? How big is the square footage? And just go off of those sold listings.
You're doing apples to apples. And I actually, depending on the market, so like I'm in DFW, I'm in Atlanta, so like these are major metroplexes. When you're in markets like that, or even like the outskirts, I always try to stay within the subdivision when I'm actually comping. And of course, then I'll stretch out within half a mile if needed. But I'll actually rather time travel when I comp rather than extend the mileage, right? So usually when I comp something, Sam, I'll go 3 to 6 months and within the subdivision. If I can't find anything, then rather than going out more on the mile radius, I'll actually time travel. So instead of doing 6 months, maybe I'll go back to a whole year just to kind of see what's been going on. And then if I still can't find nothing within 365 days, then that's when I start um, kind of enlarging that mile radius if you must. But yeah, comping again, I that's why I put kind of air quotes around the toughest part because it's actually simple as well, right? It's just what are things selling for in that area, in that subdivision, if you can, apples to apples. So but I mean, these are
What's
all
up,
things that
guys?
we're all going to go over, man. So hopefully, like going forward with like the weekly calls, you'll come on the call with a deal and say, "Hey, can we comp this one?" Right? Um,
Yeah.
one thing that I did want to add before I forget, because my mind races a million different places at once. So now you're kind of like full-time wholesaler, right? Full-time investor,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and it's exciting and it's fun and it seems like, oh my God, I'm going to be able to get so much more done. And I'm
Mm.
speaking from experience, so I'm not saying that this is, everybody goes through this, but when I freed up my schedule from my 9 to 5, I actually had to buckle down even more because I realized that I actually wasn't as disciplined as I should have been with my time. Okay. So, like, now that you have more time, you're going to have essentially also more time to screw off and just, excuse the language, dick around, right? And not do what you're supposed to do.
Oh,
Uh,
100%. Yeah,
because,
it's just human nature to kind of get comfortable when you know there's work to be done.
yeah. And so that even more so to your point earlier, definitely very important that you have that schedule set out. So I'm glad to hear that you already essentially got to that point.
Yeah, thankfully, on my spare time, I was listening to some Dan Martell videos, and he gave me a good outline of how to structure my days and how to really capitalize on every gap. So I feel pretty confident in that, and I pray that this community we have here just helps keep me accountable because I know there'll be times where I know I'm excited right now, but I know there'll be days where it's just like it feels like such a grievance to just keep carrying forward. So I appreciate you having this and for us to have a community where we're all just, in it together.
Appreciate the words, man. And I was able to fix my little technical issue. So before I kind of open up the floor. I do want to pick on somebody. The only person so far that I think has followed instructions is Mel. Not even me. I didn't even follow instructions. I don't even have my baby. She's the only one with her baby. So hi Mel, hi baby. That's very important. I will have my baby on the next call. So babies are welcome, and I meant that. Kids are welcome on the calls. Okay, so like I don't care about noises and none of that stuff. My little one just couldn't make it on the call today, unfortunately. So, but he'll be on the next one. So a little bit about me, in case you haven't, maybe I haven't introduced myself to you before. I started wholesaling. I got introduced to wholesaling actually in October of 2020. And how I got introduced to it, I'll make it very brief, is the only way I thought to get into real estate was, I either have to have a bunch of money or I've got to have my real estate license. So I didn't have a bunch of money. I never did. And so what I did was I said, let's spend, $300, I think it was. And I got my realestateexpress.com. And I started doing my real estate course to become an agent in the state of Georgia. So during that course, the most boring thing ever, and I'm a horrible test taker, so I already knew I was going to fail it. They started talking like bad about wholesalers, or just kind of saying, beware. And so when like somebody says that to me, I'm just a kind of red flag, and I want to look into it. So I started looking into it. First video that I ever watched was like November, I think, of 2020. And I can't remember who the guru was. It wasn't Zach. I didn't get across Zach's channel until I think January of 2021. So um, fast forward to my first deal. It was a small deal, $4,000 in Blairsville, Georgia, in June of 2021. So it took me 7 months from the day I started taking action to actually closing my first little bit deal, which to me, that 4,000 meant like, millions of dollars, just because I was like, wow, this thing is legit. So, and I realized that it was something that I could do it and, over and over and over again. So first deal closed June 2021. So fast forward to August of the same year, closed my second deal. It was a little bit bigger. It was 15,000, and that was it. That was my first year of wholesaling. It was like 20, not even, it was $19,000. So that was started in Georgia, did my first one in Blairsville, Georgia, and then in Columbus. And then after that, it just kind of went on from there. The reason why I created this group is, number one, I feel like now I'm at a point where I feel confident and comfortable enough to be able to give back some knowledge, the knowledge that was given to me from Zach and Rick. And I realized that their community has just gotten so, and it's a blessing, but so big, right? And to some, I hear also overwhelming. And the point of this group, I wanted to, I didn't want to like take people out of Zach's group. I want everybody to be just as involved as this is like a branch, okay, an extension of Zach's group. I asked Zach if I could actually include it in the same Discord. He just preferred that I would create a different one. So the only reason I wanted us to just be a little bit more intimate, and not be so, I mean, there's 18,000 people in that Discord, right? It moves very fast. And I was very active in it in like the first 3, 4 months when it got created. And then because I have a family and because I actually wholesale and I do real estate, I was like, this is getting too much. So this is why I created this group. I wanted it to be a little bit smaller, a group to where we have something that we can actually bond over. So we're all parents in here. We all have insane, crazy schedules, and I wanted it to be more intimate. I wanted to be able to kind of get to everyone, and the knowledge that I'm gonna relay is literally the same thing that is gonna like. It's just I'm like a walking like Zach encyclopedia, like a book, right? Like I'm gonna spit out the same info he would. So I will have my spin on it because I have tested things in my market that may have not worked in Florida, but essentially the foundation is the same. So that's a little bit about me and a little bit about why I created the group. And then because Mel, I'm sorry, I'm going to pick on you, but because you did have the baby with you, I do want, I'm kind of open it up to you and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, yes, the only one
Oh,
that actually brought the baby. Hi, Mel.
oh, my husband was working on something, and so she wanted him.
It's okay. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. How old is the little one and what's her
Uh,
name?
she is 10 months old, and her name's Eliza. She's one of
Eliza.
our three. I have three girls.
Wow. Okay, so they're keeping you busy.
A little bit.
Good, 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 good. I guess tell me a little bit about wholesaling, what got you started, how long ago, and how you came across Flip a Rick.
So for me, I've only been doing it for about like 2 months.
Okay.
I'm familiar with wholesaling. My dad did it years ago. Never really kind of panned out. He more did like I think it turned into flipping for him. But he kind of taught me how to look for properties and things like that. I went for drives with him as I was growing up. So and then for me it came from there is a pastor that I home church with, and he created a course called Real Estate with God. And I took the first part of their course, and then Zach started coming up on my YouTube, and I didn't have the money to invest into their big giant course, but it was exactly what they were teaching anyway. So it didn't really matter. I'd rather do the free. um, and not to say that their course and everything isn't great, it's just not in the cards for us.
Yeah.
um and then it just kind of came to the place where my husband's job, he's been searching for another job. It's just shady. It's a shady job. He's got some stuff going on there. And we just kind of came to realizing actually today that the only job he's ever had where he's happy is when he was running things.
Yeah.
um and so that's what this is for us. It's financial freedom, um, for our girls to get out of debt. And basically, I've been working virtually because I have three kids and I do not have the ability to go out and walk through houses or even drive for dollars with them just because of safety or how far I would have to go to get to those zones. Like the older two, they could probably have patience, but the 10-month-old, she has no patience.
No way.
So I work virtually, and that's basically it. We're in PA, and so with the new, like, not that I'm afraid of the new law, I just don't fully understand it. So I just don't really even touch that, just for safety for my family for the time being.
For sure. Was it you? I was talking. It may have been somebody. It may have been you, or it may have been somebody named Joy. I can't quite recall. That was in Pennsylvania, and I was kind of just going back and forth, and it may have not been you. I'm sure you would have said something by now, but essentially, I was saying, hey, like there's quite a few people that I know personally in Pennsylvania that are wholesaling to this day. The like everybody says, I don't have. It's implied I'm not a lawyer and I'm not giving legal advice, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's the law is against the marketing of the property, which federally speaking, it's always been illegal to market a property that you don't own, right? So
Right.
all these new little like laws and stuff, it's like they're coming out, but federally, it's always been a law. Technically speaking, by law, you cannot market a property that you don't own or
Mhm.
that you don't have a listing agreement for. You got to be a realtor. So that's what these little there's state laws that are now getting passed that are kind of talking about. So if I were you, I would connect with Ralph Pena. It's either Pena or Pena. I think it's Pena. Um,
Okay.
he is very, very, very active in Pennsylvania. He is also local to Pennsylvania. So maybe somebody that you guys could actually end up meeting at some point down the road. And yeah, I would he's in the Discord. I can't remember. I may be able to send you later his like his tag name, but definitely a good contact to have in Pennsylvania, and he's always closing out there. So
Yeah, I think that's where I don't understand the closing. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, double close." But part of me is wondering if the title companies are just saying, "Well, screw this. We're just going to do it just as we always did it." I don't know. I just kind of have a feeling that's what a lot of them are doing, but a lot of people are just scared.
yeah, and I think to you, Mel, use it to. I understand that you've only been at it for a few months, so you're probably going to fall under the category of the people that are going to be scared, right? And I get that,
Yeah.
but between all of us, and you're in a room full of essentially other wholesalers that don't have anything but like we don't have anything like to gain by not looking out for you, right? So like, why would we tell you otherwise? So I would definitely do more research and actually use that fear that everybody has in the market to your advantage, because
Yeah.
a lot of people that are local like you are going to say, well, I'm not going to do Pennsylvania, therefore less competition, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
maybe
that was the other thing is the other reason I work virtually, where I have been working virtually, is I've just been moving where I can move, because when I tried to look up get code violations or get other lists, it's very, very slow. So like some of the lists I would get would take 3 weeks to get.
wow.
And so I just started moving just where I could move because I had access to some things as well.
For sure. Yeah,
Because I was just like, this is too slow.
for sure. All states are different, but yeah, like normally in Georgia and the state of Texas, they have to a minimum sorry, a maximum of 10 days to respond to you. So if you're telling me 3 weeks, they're just kind of taking their time, probably taking advantage of it. But again, I don't know
I
Pennsylvania.
think so. Everyone that I've gone to, and I've done emails, I've done phone calls, they've all said the same thing. You have to fill out a right to know. Um, let's see, I've done Reading. Reading's yet to get back to me. I've done Easton, I've done Allentown, and all of them are, you have to have a right to know. It's literally on their websites, literally says, don't come in, we can't help you. um, do fill out a right to know.
I am as you're talking to me, I'm actually looking up Erie right now. So like some of the good markets that I know in Pennsylvania are like Erie, Williamsport, Scranton, Allentown. I don't have to say Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, right? But
Yeah.
Harrisburg is another good one. So I'm looking up Erie right now, the town of Erie, Pennsylvania.
I
There's
think so. Like my closest would be Allentown,
okay,
Reading, Easton. Those are the ones that like are closest. But again, being able to go out to them, physically is challenging with the three kids because I homeschool.
okay.
um, and then Philly is just not somewhere safe that I'll take the kids into. Um, but I'm familiar with Scranton. I'm familiar with Harrisburg. Those are about 2.5 hours for me.
Nice. I would definitely tackle those that I mentioned, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
share something with you and see if bear with me because I'm not a Zoom. I don't do Zoom. So
Oh, you're fine.
can you see my screen?
Yes.
I'm on Erie County's website.
Yes.
All right. So all I did was I literally just typed this in. I don't know if you've gotten this far, so if you have, just stop me. And then I will go here, submit a right to know request. So far it is adding up to what you've been saying.
Yeah. I
And
think it's just PA. I think they created some kind of new thing.
yeah, no, but this actually looks exactly like Texas websites. It's actually used by the same host, Civic Plus. It's just not called a submit a right to request. So have you gotten this far?
I have the Allentown. Hold on, Hazel. Hold on. There's no monsters. Go on. Sorry, my daughter. um, uh, I've done Allentown. I've submitted to that, and they gave me like 6 code violations. Like that's all they gave me. I submitted for Reading. I submitted for Easton. Both have yet to get back to me, and that was weeks ago. And I continue to follow up with them, and it's just we're working on it.
Yeah, I mean, no, they're going to drag their feet. I mean, it is a government entity, so that's just to be expected. But I mean, this is it. Like, this is how I would have my VA pull the records in Erie County.
Yeah.
It does look like, sorry, it does. So for, I'm actually just noticing that now in Texas, everything has to be done by the city for code
Hmm.
violations, that is. Looks like PA is done by county.
Yes. So I did Lehigh County, and that included into Allentown, and that was the one that I only got like 8 or 9 at that time. That they only, which surprised me that there was only 8 or 9, considering how congested these cities are.
For sure. Yeah, that sounds kind of that sounds a bit weird. And then the last thing that I do, Mel, to if I like kind of get stuck with pulling code enforcement lists, I literally will go to Chat GPT.
Yep, I love Chat GPT.
I'm not even joking. I'll use this well, I'm not logged in right now. I don't know why, but there's a GPT called WebX or something along those lines that will literally give you every single website that's out there. And you can just go in there and ask it, um, where can I go and find the code violations for Erie City in Pennsylvania? And it'll tell you exactly that. So
Okay.
I can kind of test that out right now. It's making me jump through some hoops. Yeah, I use ChatGPT still for quite a lot. So
Oh yeah, every time I'm stuck, I'm just like, how do I do this? Where do I find this? I think the only one that is yet to give me is if pre-foreclosures. That's the only one that I always seem to get stuck on with it.
the foreclosures, okay. So yeah, I would
Yeah.
how can I find a list of code enforcement violations? Cannot spell in Erie City. Yeah. And it's probably going to tell me to go on the website that we were just on.
Probably, yeah.
It's not that uh,
I have a little bit better understanding. I've been chatting with some people over the last couple of days. I have a little bit better understanding of land and probates. And
okay.
those are so those I'm going to do a couple one person offered to get on a chat with me or a live stream with me for land for I think Florida, North Carolina area as well. He's got 2 builders in those 2 different states, just to show me how to pull it up on X leads.
Yeah.
Um, and then someone else was just kind of clarifying some probate like questions I had. And so I'm going to review a couple of those and try and get some probates uh, uh, moving this week.
Nice. Nice. So it
So
sounds like you got your schedule full aside from the little ones.
I do, yeah. Someone also helped me with texting first, how he opens up with texting versus cold calling,
Okay.
which I think will really help because every time I try and get on the phone, my 10-month-old starts yelling in the background. I'm like, oh, this is fun. So
You know what? I have to tell a story about that, and I'll make it brief because I want everybody to tell their own. But as far as like that goes, right, and we'll go a lot more in depth into this. But kids in the background with like sellers, unless your kid is just going berserk, right? And I know that like sometimes our kids do that and they'll start running around on the walls and just going crazy. But even if they're just like a little cry or laugh or running around. So I'm not saying that I closed the deal because of it, but it helped me a lot build rapport with the seller one time. I had a deal in Milledgeville, Georgia. And at the end of the deal, it was an older gentleman. And he specifically told me, he said, I appreciate that I was able to trust you and that you allowed me to trust you for, with this process. And I asked him, I asked him, I said, what made you trust me outside of, everybody else I'm sure that was reaching out to you about the property. And he told me that I think it was like our second or third call that we got on, he heard as my son Ezra, he heard him cry, and it said that for him that made it more real than like anybody else that he spoke to on the phone that day. And it just kind of goes to show that like we are at the end of the day talking with, with it's not a business we're not doing business to business, right? To where people are in the office and it's like, dude, come on, man, be a little bit more professional, please.
Yeah.
It's completely the opposite, right? Actually, people want to not talk to people that are corporate. They want to talk to people like us that may have a kid running around.
Mhm.
It's more relatable. So,
I
um,
think that's what keeps people from cursing me out. Like everyone talks all these times or they get cursed out and I'm like, I might get like a little bit of, hey, take me off your list and it might be a little aggressive like tone. I never get anyone who's downright, scary or cursing me out because I think they hear my kids.
right. And guess what? If they do get all nasty, and that's probably not somebody that you even want to work with, anyways, right? So
I'd hang up within the first word.
the beauty of this business, and I guess being in business for yourself, anyways, but the beauty, especially of this business, is that you can literally choose, right, who we work with. And sure, hey, guess what? If a deal's got $100,000 in the spread, you can call me all sorts of names, and you can even call my son sorts of names. That's that's fine. As long as it stays within names, that's fine. But clearly it goes to show that like if you are upset that my kid is screaming in the background, you're probably not a human being, and I don't want to work with you for the next 2 to 3 weeks until we bring this to closing. You're probably going to be a pain in my behind.
Exactly.
So did you have any other questions in particular about Pennsylvania? Definitely reach out to Ralph, but anything else that I could answer?
No, I think that's it. I do actually have to run because my in-laws came over for dinner.
No, that's an adventure in itself right there. No, go have fun. I'll post a poll for the call later this week. So make sure to look out for it later tonight, okay?
Thank you very much. I wrote down the names and I took a couple of notes as we were talking here.
Definitely. Thanks, Mel. I appreciate you hopping on.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. And now I got to do it because my guy Andrew, I see him. He's like he went to grab his baby. It's like he wanted to introduce the baby. So what's going on, Andrew? How you doing, my man?
Hey, what's up? No, he was here the whole time. He was just eating, drink, taking a bottle. He was
What's
kind of
up
hiding.
with him?
This is the youngest of six.
The youngest of six. What's up, little man? How you doing?
Say hey.
That's crazy. How old is he?
He is 5 months,
5 months. He is fresh.
and the oldest is 16.
He needs to be parenting then. He needs to then put him to work a little bit. That's good, man. No, you know what? I my wife tells me that all the time, and we have 2 kids. We're probably gonna get another one, but she's like, why don't we build like a community essentially, right? Like, and it's like we won't like they're gonna take care of us when we get older. So like now you're just essentially like hiring those chances, right? Of having
Exactly. Exactly. So,
how you doing, man?
man, man, life is life, and still hoping you come through in the clutch on this contract, but
From
I
Augusta.
got another couple
You didn't lock it
prospects
up
to look
though.
at. Do what now?
You didn't lock it up, did you? That
No, 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 no. I told him to give me a few more days.
okay. Yeah,
So give me a few more days.
James did not get back to me at all. I'll maybe give him a call tomorrow, but usually, man, if you don't respond to me,
It's not a deal. I don't
yeah,
think it's a deal because I went to Myers to interview for that acquisitions position because I figured why not work in the industry. And I was very upfront with them. I'm like, look, man, like I'm trying to build my own business. Like I'm not going to stop working on my business, but I'll stay out of the CSRA because that's where you do business. I'll just go virtual. And the guy's name was Paul. He was really cool about it. But remember that house that we tried to lock up a few months ago in December? They locked it up at 150 and sold it at 166. So our numbers were right. We had it locked up at the exact same price.
they sold it for 166.
They sold it for 166
So this is what we're gonna do now between me and you. Do you know when they closed it?
like a week or two ago. Because
Okay.
I was talking to him about it, and he asked me if I'd done any contracts. So I was like, "Yeah, I had this one property locked up." And he's like, "Well, what was the address?" I told him the address, and he's like, "No way, we just closed that deal like 2 weeks ago."
So what we're going to do now, Andrew, is it's probably not going to show right now because Richmond County is kind of slow. 2 weeks is probably not going to reflect at the county level, but let's track it, right? So like every week or so, well, let's give it a look. I'll pop it into my prop stream and we're going to see who bought it.
Yeah,
Because
that's kind of what I was hoping because
I,
uh,
Andrew, I'm telling you right now, our numbers were not right.
no, I know
Meaning
they were high.
they were right. So what I'm trying to do now, Andrew, is try to find who is that buyer that overpaid for this property because I want him to overpay for all my other properties that I got coming up, right?
I want that buyer.
Right?
And Paul, I guess his name is Paul Myers. I'm not his. It's Myers House Buyers here in Augusta. He said that if we need his buyers, all we have to do is call him for a JV. And I was like, that's really good to know. But how did you sell that property? He's like, man, we just had the right buyer.
Yeah.
But
No. A lot
I
of people
interviewed for an
maybe
acquisition.
novated. Do you know if maybe they novated it by any chance?
I don't know. I can ask. I have a cell phone. I can text him and ask.
Not a big deal.
Um,
We can even plug that's easy. I could just plug in the address and just I don't even remember it, but I would just plug in the address and see if it was listed. Um, and then we would know that it was novated at that point. But because like that sounds like a retail buyer, that paid for that. That's crazy. But that's
something
good.
because
That means that
there's no way that property was worth that. But I just thought it was funny that they locked it up for the exact same price that we locked it up for.
well, it's probably because I'll be honest with you, man. It's not because it's the price that they wanted to get it for. It's probably just the price that the seller wasn't budging, right? Like the seller was
Yeah,
just
no,
like,
he
dude, I
wouldn't.
am not going lower this number, and if it's not this, it's nothing. So that big company, they were probably like, let's just lock it up and see, kind of like we did. We just, let's give
Yeah.
it a shot. They just have
Yeah.
a wider network, and like I'm not gonna sit there and hide it, right?
No, I
And
mean it's good for them, but at least that kind of helped me know that I was at least on the right path because I was evaluating the properties the same way that a multi-million-dollar company was evaluating the properties.
For sure, man. No, I mean, the comps that we were pulling were correct. So now, like I said, let's I mean, we're always in touch. So let's just kind of remind one another to track this one and see who the buyer is, and let's snag that buyer.
Got it. We'll do that. And but in other words, news, I that the pre-foreclosure website is it's very difficult to navigate, but I'm kind of waiting to hear from them before I do anything else in Augusta. If not, I'll go to. I want to find a city that you have buyers in so we can work together, and I'll just do it virtual.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to cheat or anything like that or play the system. But if I could take this job, that it pays pretty well while I'm doing my own. But
Well, a
I'm
good pointer for you would be if you go on my website and just kind of look at the map of Georgia, it'll give you a good idea of where you can kind of play around and stay outside of their backyard, right?
yeah, I figured Columbus and Macon area would be my best.
I would prefer if we were to kind of sit here and pick, I would prefer Columbus just because Macon, dude, like,
It's like Savannah.
dude, well, no, but just Macon's just got to be so damn low, man. Like, and I gotta watch my language because this is real estate and kids, but it's just Macon has got to be so low that it doesn't even make sense sometimes. It's doable. People are definitely doing deals in Macon. I have buyers that will buy in Macon, but like a 2-1, if you don't have it for like below anything like below 20, it's not even worth
Oh
talking.
yeah. All right,
No,
so I'll start looking at Columbus then.
Columbus is
But also, I'm not taking up my bandit signs around here either, because I feel like those have been up for 2 months. They haven't moved for 2 months now, and I'm still getting calls off of them. Those are fair game.
yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't remove those, man. And I would continue to definitely look into Columbus. And then there's another guy, I don't know if this is D'Angelo in here. No, but he will be on a few of these calls. He is in another great market in Georgia, which is Warner Robins.
Yep,
Yep. So
that's just outside of Macon, but that's just a high. It's got Robins Air Force Base right there.
there you go. So it's another little Columbus because of the fort, because of the military presence that's out there. So definitely a great market to do virtually if you're going to do a virtual market in Georgia. And there is, like I said, there's D'Angelo that's in the community now that is local to Warner Robins. So that may be able to, maybe somebody that you may want to team up with.
Okay, and I got Deal Machine back, so
Nice.
until they make me a job offer, I'm gonna keep hitting Augusta hard. So I'm gonna keep texting, calling,
But
doing what I got to do.
question for you, why not X League?
So I tried X Leads and Go High Level is great and all. I like the simplicity of Deal Machine. I like the dialer because it automatically changes the phone number for you, so there's no spam. I love the AI transcription. I'm very ADHD. So that AI transcription for me, beautiful because I can go back to my notes and look over it all without having to type the notes because I get so involved in the conversation that I forget to take the notes.
Oh, dude, I'm terrible with that. I don't ever take notes on my calls because it's like I can't listen. Like right now, I should be like
Yeah,
everybody that I'm talking to that I've talked to tonight so far. I should have been like taking notes at least in like the markets, and that's why I had all you guys message me the markets, at least the markets that you're in, because I can remember that, and I put that on like a little spreadsheet. Because if I had to do that right now as I'm taking notes, we would not be engaging.
right.
So no, I'm the same way. No, hey, you got a reason though. That's why you like you have a
Yeah.
reason why you're with Deal Machine, and that's
And I've tried both. I had an X Lead subscription and a Deal Machine subscription. The data is the same. And
yep.
I think just personally, and yet somebody may disagree, they may not, it's up to them. X Lead is the great software. It's amazing. But I think it's more for after that fifth deal, after that sixth deal, when you're starting to scale up your business. I think that's where X Leads kicks in.
I think it's a little bit more advanced tool.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough,
Deal
man.
Machine's super easy. And I put my number in as the callback number. So when they call the number that I'm dialing from, it automatically rings my cell phone, no matter what number it is. But even if I pick up on my cell phone and don't call them from Deal Machine, it changes them based on what they say to not interested or warm or hot or closed contract on its own in the CRM. So for me, that's phenomenal.
A little bit more of a interactive, smarter CRM.
Yeah.
That makes
Now it's
sense.
buggy.
And
The
look, I
dialer's a
think
little buggy.
it's got one thing for sure that it's got over X's, in my opinion, anyways, because I'm a big driving for dollars guy. I like driving for dollars. It's got
Yes.
the app, right? I mean, that's just kind of like everybody knows about that. But other than that, no, it's all preference based, and that's
Yeah,
why.
it really is. And I felt bad about going back to the machine because I think Rick and Zach are great. They've done a lot for the community. I think that's a great software, but I firmly believe it's one of those, I need to take time to learn Go High Level. And I can't do that while I'm trying to build the business. But once the business starts scaling, I think X Leads is phenomenal with the drip campaigns and all of that.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll as a little sub community here, right? I'll probably do like because I can see how these calls can easily drag on, and this is an introductory call, so I didn't expect to like go into like the meat and potatoes of wholesaling. There's more introductions, the ones that we could get to, but I probably will have like just a call, like a weekly call. We'll do it to where like, hey, this week call, it'll just be for Go High Level, right? So like if you guys don't care about Go High Level because you guys don't have it, or you just an expert and you don't care, don't join that call type of thing, right? But for whoever does, and maybe you couldn't make Zach's call that he had on Tuesday, hopefully, because I do actually like Go High Level. I've been using Go High Level since
Right.
2021. So I'm pretty well versed in it. So I'll be able to help some of you guys. Don't ask me about no A to P approval. I ain't helping with that because that ain't that ain't something I can help with.
No, I did see that question in the Discord, and X Leads is doing that automatically for you. You just have to email them.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't, you don't need any of that.
Yeah, and the reason why I said I'm not doing it is not because I'm an a-hole, but it's because literally there's nothing. It's out of, it's literally Go High Level and it's behind the scenes. So, but if
Yeah.
like creativity wise, like workflows, and I can, I like stuff like that. So I
And
can.
that's what I'm missing with Deal Machine is I don't have those automatic drip text campaigns or any of that. But I'm not in a position where paying for those text messages is smart either, and I can do it from my cell phone. Basically, what I do is I have phone link because I have Samsung everything, and so I pull up my list in Deal Machine. I open phone link on my computer, so I can text from there, and then open Chat GPT and make it create my text, and then just copy and paste, and it sends it like it's sending it from my cell phone.
Nice. No, yeah, man. If I mean, the texting is pretty damn cheap. I'm not gonna lie with Go High Level, but it's all that comes before the texting, right? It's the
Right.
subscription and it's the setting up and it's all because after that, I mean, the text is 0.0087.
Hey,
So
yeah,
it's
and it's super cheap, and I know it, and I know it'll make things easier. And maybe it's just ADHD, but I tried, and I love the basic X leads. I
yeah,
could not get into ninja mode. It was just overly complicated while I was trying to learn how to wholesale.
for sure, man. No, it's 100% it's overwhelming. I remember because I in 2021. when I closed my first deal in June of 2021, right? So I used Go. I think I started Go High Level before I closed my first deal. So I was definitely still learning how to. Yeah, it's overwhelming for sure. For anyone that's listening though, and that is kind of like maybe needs a few pointers. There's a guy, I'll put him in the chat. He does wonders with Go High Level, and he's like I call him like the Zach Ginn of Go High Level because he gives like a lot of free information and like good free information you actually put to use. And it's information that is actually Go High Level related to real estate investing, right? So it's that Quinn Nolan, I put him in the chat, definitely somebody that you guys need to listen to if you have any questions about Go High Level.
And I'll help you with this in any way I can. I know I'm not an expert in wholesaling, but I know Deal Machine pretty well, and I'm pretty good with computers. So anything you need for this, just let me know because you helped me a lot. I know we haven't closed the deal yet, but we're right there.
We're going to, man. I'm not worried about that at all.
We're right there.
Coming up. It's coming up. Well, congrats on the new opportunity. Hopefully that'll come about. Keep me posted on it. Like I said, if you don't mind, man, let's kind of remind one another and let's keep each other accountable. I do want to find out who that buyer is because that buyer overpaid for that property.
By a long shot.
So let's get him to overpay on a few more of ours coming up. And yeah, man. What did you have any particular questions about anything at all?
No, because you and I have talked a lot, and it's much appreciated. And I think for everybody else listening, just know because I got self-defeating. I've been listening to Rick and Zach since 2021, and didn't actually take action until sometime last year. And I started, and then I didn't get anywhere, and I was focused on working a 40-hour-a-week job. So I did that. And then in December, when we got hit by Hurricane Helene in October, we moved in November. I lost my job because we had to move. I put everything I had into wholesaling and did not get a deal right off. But I got close, and I got close enough for proof of confirmation. I mean, we had 3 contracts locked up in a matter of 3 weeks because I was cold calling and digit bandit signs and all this stuff. I didn't get them to the finish line, but it wasn't because of wholesaling's not a good thing. It's just because it wasn't the right contract at the right time.
That's it, man. And that's what I try to tell everybody is that just because it didn't work 1 or 2 or 3 times doesn't mean that it doesn't work, right? It just means that maybe you just didn't try long enough, right? Or you didn't try a 4th time. Maybe it takes a 5th time to get it right. 3rd time's a charm, I think, is BS. So who knows? One thing, and I tell this to everybody is don't put a time limit on like success and what is success. In this case, we're talking about maybe getting our first deal. Don't put a time limit on it. I heard a bunch of people tell me, well, man, if I don't get a deal within 8 months, that ain't it's just not going to happen. This ain't for me, or it's not real, or it's a scam. And I said, well, hey, I've heard people that done it in a month. So if you compare yourself to those folks, then yeah, you should probably quit today because you're not going to do it in a month. You're just not. But then I also hear people that, a year or 2 into it. Is that normal? A year or 2 into it? Not necessarily, maybe. There's got to be something to where we could tweak. Just like Andrew said, he recognizes what he did wrong was he didn't take consistent action throughout the years, right? So but there's nothing wrong with a year of consistent action and not getting a deal. It's normal. And I try to tell that to everybody and say, hey, after a certain amount of time, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means that we may have to tweak something that you're doing. So you're 100% right. 3 contracts, to be honest with you, Andrew, respectfully, ain't nothing, right? Like, but while it's a lot, it's a big like improvement. It's nothing in the sense of like that don't just because 3 failed don't mean that it doesn't work, right? But you already know that. So you're already
right. It was proof of confirmation just getting to that point.
100%. So appreciate you joining, man. We'll close an Augusta deal. Well, I guess maybe not an Augusta deal because you're going to be with the company soon, but a Columbus.
If they make an offer, yes. If not, I'm going to stick with Augusta and keep working it hard because Augusta is a great market. It's just a picky market.
It is. That is 100%. 100%.
So, but I appreciate it. I appreciate this, and yeah, we're gonna keep going.
I appreciate it. I saw Mike in here had saw a hand raised, but I don't know. Is Mike here again? I saw a hand raised.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm at work and they needed me, so a client. I guess I pocket dialed the hand raise, but
It's okay, man. How you doing?
pretty good in you, man.
I'm good. Are you talkable?
Yeah, I'm good right now.
Good. What's going on, man? Talk to me. Introduce tell us about yourself.
So I don't have any kids. I just have my brother, my sister, and my mom, and I do take care of my lady, only because she has a trachea, an artificial trachea. So I'm a year into wholesaling. I haven't had no deals yet, but I did have to leave it alone for a bit. Meanwhile, because I had to take my lady to Albuquerque. It's like 4 hours away from El Paso for several procedures to get her an airway. So we're still working at that. So I know it's gonna take some time later, but that's all. I just came across Zach and Rick's page in January because I had another mentorship and another software, but it wasn't working out. And it also seemed a little bit like lying. Like what he was teaching us was kind of to lie a little bit. And when I got to Rick and Zach, it's more about building rapport, relationships, making sure you're helping the people. Like it's crazier, and it's actually opened a lot more doors than the whole year I had with this other.
Fire. Yeah, it's sometimes being genuine, right? It'll get you. Yeah. I don't know what these other guys were teaching you. It sounded like maybe they were, teaching you to be deceitful to make their job as a guru or as an educator a little bit easier to get you
Mm.
results faster. But sometimes those faster results, they don't provide longevity, right? Sometimes you just got to take a little bit longer. So at least you know that whatever the foundation you're building is not fugazi, it'll last. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you got to come across Zach and Rick then.
Oh yeah, man. They actually pointed me in the right way. That first Zoom call I got with him. So they pointed me to San Antonio, and I took my lady out there. That way I can drive for dollar because I was hitting pre foreclosures, and I know they don't answer as much. So
Yeah,
I sticky noted quite a few, several, and actually the only one that called back was an investor that wanted me to go back up there and meet him and his other boss.
and all of
Um,
this is in Bear County.
yes,
Nice, nice.
I
Okay.
live in El Paso, but I had to drive to Bear County to try to make it. Um, and of course, I did come with some difficulties. My car couldn't handle it as well, but I did get some good connections, some doors open. I do have one person that I have to follow up with because they were giving me different reasons for selling the property. At first, it wasn't to be sold; they just wanted an offer, and then I realized they are trying to sell, but that's not the number. So I'm just following up with them. But I have to. Once I met up with the investors, they actually gave me 9 zip codes to work with. They told me what they're buying. They told me what they're doing. That way, I get more of a feel of their budget and what they're buying them for. And they even offered that we can like not work together necessarily, but dance with each other. Like I can have the seller meet with them, and they would still help me, like represent me. You know.
For sure. I think that's a great relationship to nurture and to build. Just make sure that you're doing it with the correct people, of course, because and I'm putting my buyer's cap on, not to say that I would do this to a wholesaler, but I know of buyers that will do this. And they will make it seem like this beautiful relationship that they can build. And then as soon as you present them to that first seller, bow, they hit you where it hurts the most, right? So just kind
Mhm.
of let them a
Yeah.
little bit more. Yeah, like don't be, and I'm not saying that you're going to do that, but I'm just suggesting to not be so quick to trust. Because sometimes as a newer investor, and I've fell for this myself, when a buyer gave me the time of day, which in the beginning, it ain't many of them. So when a buyer gave me the time of day, I would get overly excited and I would put aside my morals, and not necessarily my morals, but like my what I knew. And what I knew was that I had to do more vetting. And I did
Mhm.
it. because all I cared about was that a buyer was giving me the time of day, and he was telling me all these pretty things that I, of course, as a wholesaler, wanted to hear, which was, I'll even do the walkthrough for you, and I'll even take the pictures, and I'll even lock it up, and I'll even close it for you, and you'll never even see me again, right? And it's like, so just kind of watch out for that, because
Of
it's
course.
a great relationship to have, though. So definitely
Mhm. Oh yeah.
I'm going to, as I was talking to you, I was pulling up a map of my virtual Texas markets that I created at some point. So while San Antonio is an amazing market and you definitely should be doing San Antonio, I also think you should do some outskirts, especially because it sounds like you're in El Paso anyway, so it's like you're moving around, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so like San Antonio is of course really good. New Braunfels, I actually just assigned a deal in New Braunfels last week, 2 weeks ago or last week. New Braunfels is a really good market, and that's of course right outside of San Antonio. Another good market, not as close as New Braunfels is to San Antonio, but Victoria is a great
Okay.
market. Yeah, Victoria is really, really good. And I say really, really good because it's not talked about a lot, but it's got a ton of buyers there.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. And then trying to think. I mean, there's a bunch of good markets in Texas, but I'm just trying like San Angelo is good if you want to go a little bit further up north. And Fredericks, I can never pronounce it right. Fredericksburg.
Oh,
Um,
Fredericksburg.
Yep, Fredericksburg is a good one. And then if you want to go a little bit of like northern of Austin, Pfluger, and these are all small submarkets, right? So it sounds like, oh my goodness, like all of these, but these are smaller submarkets that are really good to target. Probably better
Mhm.
than San Antonio, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, because there's just ton of like the population is good enough in all of these, and I did my research on them, and there's enough buyers activity. Again, I did my research on that as well. So San Antonio, of course, the population and the buyers are there, but it can get a little bit more competitive than Victoria would, right?
Oh yeah.
So maybe do a little bit of
And
both.
one thing, what was that first one? I didn't catch that first one you said.
New Braunfels.
Oh, New Braunfels.
Yep, that's I just moved the deal out there. It was a little bitty one, but last week, 2 weeks ago or last week, something like that. New Braunfels is really, really good. And I
All
have
right.
buyers in San Antonio that because it is such a like an outskirt of San Antonio that they'll buy in New Braunfels. Like San Antonio, most San Antonio buyers will also do New Braunfels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Just because
so
it's like you said, outskirts right there.
it's literally it's just yeah, it's like right there. So it's maybe
Mhm.
I would say 30 minutes, 40 minutes drive. So
All right. Not even bad. Because I do plan to make it has been more active like this just since January, since I started with Rick and Zach. I've had the most activity, the most like results than the whole year that I had tried with this other guy.
yeah.
So I think it's crazy. So
You're not
I
the
was like, man, you know what? Let's keep it up.
Yeah, you're not the first one to say that, man. But that's just what it is. Like, um, that's why they attract so many wholesalers is because
Oh yeah.
they create results. So, yeah, man. Look, you're in a El Paso, definitely tougher market, but let's just consider your whole state. You're in a great market, man.
Mm.
You can do it virtually, right? You can even do Dallas if you wanted to from El Paso. Who cares?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you've got enough people in here. I think somebody else even added in the chat.
Yes, I saw someone said they're from El Paso here.
I mean, there's just, there's so many of us here in Dallas that, or in Texas, to where we can kind of create like a little Texas community, even, right? To where it's like, hey, if
Uh,
you in El Paso, you know who to go. So that's kind of the point of this, to where we know who to go to, in a more smaller environment. So where sometimes we all get lost in that Discord of 18,000 plus people.
oh yeah.
So, yeah, man, did you have any particular questions that, I know usually for, the first day is really more about introductions, but did you have any particular
I
questions?
mean, no, I did like that you will help with go high level because that's the only thing I'm like for now I'm using my phone and the Google Voice. But I've been trying to get my dialer going and the ROS triple tap.
Correct. Correct. Yeah,
So like,
is that not already in the Ninja mode? That already comes pre-built, right? Correct me.
yes, it comes pre-built. I'm just trying to actually set it up because I had an issue where my messages weren't even sending. I had a bunch of calls go through, but all the messages I sent didn't even. It was an error rate, and so from there I cleared my whole list, and I tried to. I've been trying to little by little nitpick at how to set it up because I also got charged $10 for the all the texts and calls. So I've been trying to kind of. I was gonna remove my card to try to set it up again with the Google Voice number.
Are you are you A2P approved in Ninja mode?
I believe so. Now I am.
Now you are. Was that error given to you before you were A2P approved?
Yes, it was. And I had talked to what's his name? Dracos. He
Yeah.
he told me it could have been the A2P, but he also said I didn't need the A2P to text. But I got it anyway. I had to wait for XLeads to approve it. And I had finally got it. I was just trying to set up the actual dialer.
You definitely need to be A2P approved to text. So
Okay.
I will talk to Dracos and be like, dude, what the heck are you talking about? Because Dracos usually knows what he's talking about. So, and if it's not to be approved, then I just learned something new, and then I need to get on Zach because I did a whole bunch of things to get approved. But
All right. I mean, unless I heard wrong,
yeah, no,
I had texted him, but I just went with it to get it to be approved, just to have it all set up, see if that would even fix my issue.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I have the Go High Level app, so I tried to make my list on X Leads on my laptop and transfer it to the phone, so I can call on the phone still on a dialer.
I don't want to give you any tasks to do, and if it's gonna like make you do a bunch of different things, do you have Go High Level like handy in front of you?
No, I don't. Not at the moment.
That's okay. So get back to me if you don't mind, Mike, and just try to tell me the error code that Go High Level was giving you. It's gonna be like 30007, 30005, or something like that.
I think I can. I had it on the app here. I don't know if it cleared out. Here on the app was it when it was telling me that all my texts were. No, it's not here anymore. I have to go back on Go High Level real quick.
No worries. Whenever you can, and you can all you know where to you know how to reach me. Just text it to me, and I'll be able to tell you. It's usually like 3005, 3007, or it's got like three or four different codes that Twilio has.
Is that like on the dashboard or?
Well, so I'll tell you this. It's actually easier to see the error code desktop wise. I think that if you're on your phone, it's going to be a little bit harder to tell.
Oh, okay.
If you're not on your, if you can't, if you can't get to it now, like I said, it's completely fine. But when it can get to the desktop, the way that you go and find the error code is you go into like the text message that didn't deliver. So go to your conversations, and then it will,
Will it show that if I remove them?
if you remove them.
Because I did remove all my contacts because it was to another list after I got these zip codes. But I do on my workflows or the dialer right there where it has all of them, the ROS triple tab, the dialer, the power dialer. It has the number. I think on the power dialer it said 40, that it had reached out to 40, and the ROS could have been 20, but I have everything cleared. I don't know if it'll show. Let me see if I can. I have my tablet right here. Let me see if this will show.
Yeah, test it out. No, I think when you do delete, if you deleted the contact, it'll delete the conversation that's attached to that contact. Did you delete the actual contacts from Go High Level?
Yes, yes, I had cleared that list because that's when I was getting the error. So I was trying to start it over.
Yeah,
And
sorry.
then when at the same time, I got the zip codes from my buyer. So I decided to start over and try to get new leads from there. And I haven't dialed it or I added the contacts, but I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, I think because you deleted the context, it may remove the conversations, but check it out and see if it gives you. I think you actually may even be able to find it on the mobile version on your app, but definitely easier to find on the desktop version. You just hover over the error and it'll give you the error code. And if you want to send that to me, and then we can kind of like decipher
All right. Let
why.
me.
Sometimes, and I got this from Zach for sure, but like um, sometimes we gotta like act as if we're like surgeons, and like
Mm.
before we like get into like surgery mode, we gotta like dissect, like what's the problem before we start operating.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so let's do that. Let's find out what the error code is, and then
Yeah, man,
we'll
because I love XLs and go high level, but it's pretty difficult to learn all in one.
especially when you're trying to, hit your KPIs and make it, do all the calls and do all you got to do. So no, I hear
And that's also why I'm trying to set it up because I kind of try to keep my KPIs on paper. I mean, the most I can, but I want to set it up here so it can really track my conversations. I want to get the triple tap going.
yeah, as you should. You start getting some volume, man. I recommend because this is what I did when I first started. Get nerdy, and I don't know what I'll learn more about your schedule and your all the stuff that you've got going on, but
Mhm.
dedicate nerd time, what I call it, for at like nighttime. Like I get nerdy during nighttime because I can't make calls during night. I can't spend family time. Well, I could, but like they're off to sleep, so there's really nothing else for me to do. Sure, I could get on and watch TV, but like that's boring. So I'd rather get on go high level and make some workflows. So that's when I would dedicate. And then I would go to like I would go to like somebody like Quinn Nolan on his YouTube and and kind of binge watch that if anything.
All right.
But
Oh, so I did get on the Ninja mode on my tablet.
yeah,
I wonder if this will work.
let's see
So I
what
go to conversations or contacts. I mean, no conversations. Correct.
conversations. Yeah, go to conversations and try to find one that recently didn't go through.
Oh, they're all. It's cleared. It's all empty.
It's all empty. Yeah, figured as much because, like I said, when you delete a contact, it'll delete the
Oh,
conversation.
so the contact itself removes everything from.
Correct. It'll remove
Crazy.
everything that you had with that person in the CRM, which conversations included.
All
Uh,
right.
so maybe I would try another, or I would I would text yourself.
Yeah, I haven't even started power dialing or texting through here now that I have the A2P. So now I guess let me try it with the A2P. And
Oh,
if they do go through, then I should be, yeah, because this was before I got A2P. And then
sorry.
once I got approved,
Yeah, so then that's why. Then we're just kind of like that's why, for sure. I didn't hear that part. My mistake.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
Draco's just kind of told you wrong on that end. You definitely have to be A2P approved in order to text. You don't have to be A2P approved in order to call.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what. Oh, because I did have an issue with the power dialers, what I was asking him. But I was trying to set up the ROS triple tap to the power dialer.
Correct. Yeah. So no, for sure you don't have to be A2P approved to call. That I know for a fact. But to text, you do. So I guarantee you, Mike, that next campaign that you send out, it's gonna go through. If you're A2P
Oh,
approved.
okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. And then I guess that was the issue I misheard.
Perfect, man. And then I'm still curious to know though, if get back to me when you do run that campaign. If
Mhm.
you get an error, let me know so we can kind of dissect on that and see what's going
All
on.
right. Yes, sir. We'll do. Well, thank you, sir.
Oh, appreciate you, man. Thanks for
And
joining.
thank you for having me on here, man. I appreciate this group because I mean, I may not have kids, but I'm not really trying to get rich. I just want to provide for the family, you know?
Well, like I told you, man, your situation, and there's a couple of people in this community and it's like, it made me feel like it was so weird because like there was a couple people that asked me and they were just like, "Hey, I got no kids. I just want to join." And I'm like, "Well, no, like no, that's not." But then there were people like you, Mike, that say, "Hey, I got no kids, but this," and I'm like, "Dude, that actually probably maybe," and I'm not that may even be harder than to deal with kids, right? So like, you know what I mean? And so, dude,
Yeah.
it's a different kind of situation. But then I
That's
have
why I just had to ask just in case, you know?
absolutely, man. You kind of like Danielle was saying, you're caring for somebody, and there's a couple other people in here that I kind of felt with that, and I said, absolutely, you can be part of this community. And then there were other people that just blatantly didn't even care. And they said, hey, can I just join the group? I just want to join. And I said, no, you can't. Like, I don't like I don't understand why you quite like why even put me in such a weird position. Like, I don't want to tell you no, but I'm gonna tell you no because the point of
Yeah.
the group is for this. So no, man, I appreciate you joining and you're in a great market, so I'm sure we're going to be doing some deals together.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you again, Luca.
Sure, man. All right, we'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon, man.
All right, you got your hand raised, and you corrected me, man, like 2 days ago, and you're gonna correct me again because I know I'm gonna butcher it. Malake, Malake.
Yeah, I'm not correct yet. Yeah. That's
Did
all.
I get it right?
Huh. No, it's Malachi.
Malachi. Damn, man. Malachi, Malachi, Malachi. I gotta say Malachi, Malachi, Malachi. Okay. I called him by mistake Malachi, and I felt like such an a-hole the other day. And
Get that all the time in Texas.
got it. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Was trying to see. I actually did have a question.
What's
If you
up?
could show uh how to do like one of Zach's code violation pulls from his spreadsheet or probate.
Let's do it. All right, let's see. Um, Remind me again, is it where did he put that crazy link? It's in school, right?
It's in the school and it's not in the X. It's in the other one.
It's in the free community. Okay, let me I recently had to clear y'all ever had to like clear cookies and then it like logs you out of everything? So annoying. All right, let's see. 26 instantly download millions of courthouse leads. When he put this out, I was like, Zach, I was like, whoa, watch out. I was like, I don't know if you want to do this. I was like, that's a lot. I get what you're trying to do, but I don't. All right.
Yeah, I was trying to upload it and I keep getting error codes, so I didn't know how to clean it up.
Wait, okay. So what do you you're so what you're needing help with is uploading, you already have the raw list of code violation addresses, right?
From what he gave us, yeah.
And
But
you're
I'm trying to figure out how to go to
trying
the right part and then put it in there right correctly.
correct in order for you to be able to skip trace and export it out with the numbers.
Yes.
All right, so then I don't really need to be on here because you already have a list. So let's do this. I'm not even sharing the screen. Look at me. All right, let's see. Well, actually, I should probably be letting you share your screen and show me what I guess you're doing because I think I have an idea of what may be going already, what may be going wrong. Um, how does your list look when you upload it? Do you like there should only be four columns: address, city, state, and zip code. If you have a fifth one, it's gonna kick you out.
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
Okay, got you. So then that's already right there. That's why it's not let me stop sharing my screen. And do you mind you should be able to do you mind sharing yours?
I can try it out. So, no.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Zoom, I tell you. All right, you should be able to share your screen now.
Okay. You see it?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to see how to get up past this. I would have to pull his sheet up. Let me share. Oh, we're gonna probably do, let me see, Fort Bend.
Do you happen to have a list that you already maybe have pulled already
No, I don't. So that's what I'm saying. I need to know how to do it from start to finish.
from start to finish? Okay, let's go ahead then.
Just
Because I thought, my apologies, I was under the impression that you already got to this part. You already got the list, and the issue that you were having was,
no, I got to this part and then I kind of got lost in here. And
okay,
one list I did pull up from code violations, but it was in I think Fort Worth,
okay,
and that's where I got the error. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this part from start to finish.
okay. So first and foremost, what you're trying to do right now is you're trying to pull, you want to pull probates from Fort Bend County, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would do here is the first thing is I would go to date filed. I would always use date filed.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
nope, search by date filed to the top left. Yep, under require fields.
Yep.
Yep, yep. Because now you're saying that, hey, I don't know the attorney, I don't know the party, and I also don't know the case number. I just know the date that it was filed. Okay. So what you want to do is my VA, she pulls them daily. So for like the 18th, so Tuesday, she's gonna pull them for the 17th Monday. So in your case, let's just do it from the 10th of February to the 14th. So anything filed from the 10th to the 14th. So this past Monday through Friday.
Does it for the date right here?
02, 010, sorry, 0210 2025. Yep. It's got to be like in a certain format. You may have to
Like
put
that?
you may have to put a dash in between, but yeah, that's fine too. And then yep, 2020 or 14. Yep. And then you'll be able to pull the it's going to you can just do search. So now you've got 38 probates. Some of these could be duplicates. You're gonna have to kind of go through that. So let's just click on the first one.
Right here?
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like maybe scroll down just a little bit. That's cool because I think all of those things are clickable, right? Application for testamentary, docket sheet, will. Can you click on that stuff?
Yeah. Which one you want me to know?
Yeah, so like that may be because usually like a lot of counties they just where it says applicant and the so clearly here the person that passed away is Mr. Joseph Fenley, right? And in a lot of counties they'll even and he had his property was in full share Texas, so he did have a property he left behind. Now a lot of counties will even put the full address, not for this one, so you're gonna have to do a little bit of digging on it. It looks like these links are clickable, so you may be able to just kind of find the address of the PR and the subject property from here. So you may have to do a little bit of clicking. Let's do application for testamentary. That'll usually show you the PR and their mailing address. So click on the first one, application for probate of will. That is the application that the PR filed most likely. And here it'll show that Joseph and Michael, both co-applicants of this probate, are letting the court know that Joseph passed away. And then if you go down, you really just need one of the PR's addresses. Um, But also, it may be that there is no property for this guy. Like, who knows? That like the address that was on the court docket could have been his mailing address, right? And he could just maybe be renting there. So there is a little bit of digging that you've got to do. So this is what I would do, man. You've got X lead. So scroll up, and I would have X leads open up in another tab, and I would go to it, and then I would type Fort Bend in the search, Fort Bend County. And I'm gonna show you
Over
what.
here.
Yeah, in the property search, and just put in Fort Bend. Yep, and then you're going to click out of that. Like my leads, click out of that. I need to see the screen. Yeah, and then click the filters and delete all the filters. Yeah, clear everything out. I just need to have Fort Bend. And scroll down, and it'll say search by owner name. You see that?
Uh,
Scroll up right there. Search by owner name. So now all you got to do is keep this tab open and keep Fort Bend County in there. My light just turned off. Give me a second. Oh, never mind. It's one of them automatic ones. Um, and I lost track. So what's his last name? He had a pretty good
uh,
last name, I think. The person that passed is Fenley. So
Finley.
I put Fenley in that search bar. And then I would click or enter and then see results. If there is a Mr. Fenley that owns property in Fort Bend County, he's going to pop up on here. It could be more than one Fenley last name. So, did you click on see results? Or maybe
Uh,
it's on there. You got to click done, or there's something that you got to do to where it ticks it.
let me see. Let's see results down here's big number.
Yeah, no, it's not right. Let me do it on my end. There's got to be something with the filters that you didn't like. I would refresh it maybe, just refresh the page and try to redo it again. When I do it on my end, Fort Bend County, and we said the name was Fenley. Click done. Where it says done, click done. Is it loading? Four. It should be four. On my end, it was four. Oh, you didn't put the name in yet. Okay. Yep. And delay. Yep. And enter and then done. Should be a total of four properties. So click on see results and let's see if we can find the oh, something happened. You did. Okay. Yeah, just click on see results. And then let's see if we can find the name of the person that passed. Joseph, wasn't that him? Joseph in full share?
Right here.
That's the guy we're looking for. That's the property.
Okay.
So XLeads is like an amazing tool to be able to like reverse engineer county records just by first or last name. I think this right here is like a game changer when you can look up like anyone this way. It's kind of scary actually, but um, uh, and then on the other end, because now, okay, cool, you got the property, but like, what do I do? So then I would create like a spreadsheet, right? That's got first name, last name, and that's the PR. And then it's got the PR mailing address, mailing city, mailing state, mailing zip code, and you're going to have those columns. And then you're going to have other columns that's going to be property address, property city, property zip code, and property state. I'm pretty sure Zach does go over this in his probate training. But this is what, let me do it like this. And I can see why suspend all participant activities. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to stop sharing so I can start sharing. Let me do it like this. This is what a probate sheet should look like. Um, can you guys see my screen?
I can see it.
I'm sorry.
I can see it.
So it should look like this. property address, city, state, zip code, first name, last name of the PR, and then the mailing address, right? Um, because after you found the property address and that's cool, but now you got to find, who am I going to reach out to? So I think you had I don't see your screen anymore, but those co-applicants, you just got to grab one of those two, find their home address and their phone number. And yeah, I don't actually
Okay.
even use X leads to save my list for probates because um, when you upload a list into X leads, you're going to be skip tracing that's for the person that's tied to the property. We don't care to skip trace that person because that unfortunately that person is no longer with us. So um, we want to, there's no need to upload probates into X leads, is what I'm saying. You can you no not you can you have to upload them into Ninja mode so you can maybe text them and whatnot, but you don't need to skip trace probates, is what I'm saying.
Is that the same for code violations or is that different?
That's different. Code violation, then that's you do gotta upload that into X leads, and that's kind of the issue that I thought that you were having at first that I was thinking we were gonna go over was how to upload a raw list into X leads once you have it. And really
Yeah,
deep.
that Fort Worth one for code violation, the one I was working on was Fort Worth.
Yeah. So then what I would do if I were you is I would um you have to get the spreadsheet to look like this. Let me just make a copy essentially and I'll show you what I mean. Mm, this is what you need to upload into XLeads in order for it to work. Anything else is gonna, oh my goodness, my thing is acting so slow. All right. That's it. And
You
actually,
just erase all that.
yeah, so this is the format that you got to put into XLeads. Anything else is gonna kick it back. So I can't remember how Fort Worth is messy. Fort Worth comes in, I think, in all in one column, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know about Fort Worth. So I would you go to my guy, GPT, and I would upload that spreadsheet and I would say, can you split up the four, no, can you split up the attached column into four different columns named address, city, oh my goodness, state, and zip code, and it'll do it in like seconds. So, and then when you and you got to upload your sheet, and then say upload that data in a new CSV file, and then it'll spit it back at you, and then you can upload that one into X to skip trace.
Okay. I'll get my VA to help me with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then
Appreciate that.
as far as the probates, that should have opened up like little Pandora box in a sense. Play around with it and see like, if you have any issues, and then kind of, I guess, report back to me and we'll go in more depth if you still can't find uh, their information.
All right. I appreciate it, Luca.
For sure, man. For sure. Anything else that you're working on right now? What happened with that? What was it? You had one in, yeah, you had one in, was it Colleen?
No, I was working on something in Dayton, but
No, it was something in
I'm
Texas.
having.
We were just underwriting, I think. It was in,
Oh, you're talking about Cyprus?
yes, 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 Cypress. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, they didn't want to do that offer. That's all.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Well, yeah, man, how to get a hold of me if you're working on something.
Yeah, I just started another campaign over here where I'm at in Killeen. looking at tax delinquencies and pre-foreclosure.
Nice, nice. Any issues with pulling those records?
Nah, I'm good with that.
Cool. Cool, cool. Well, keep me posted on if that deal comes back on the board.
Okay.
Cool. Latasha, how you doing? I see you got your hand raised.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. What you just covered with Malachi, were questions I literally had. I got X leads. I don't even know what to do with it, man. I'm like, what the hell?
Uh,
I listen. I'm gonna be totally vulnerable here. Look, I'm slow AF when it comes to tech that I've never worked with go high level at a you know I used to have a brick and mortar business that went under after COVID, and we used totally different softwares. Um,
what kind of business
and
was it, Latasha?
it was a junk removal business. I used to live in Ohio, in Toledo, actually, Lucas County, and then I have my grandson who's 10. He's sick right now this weekend while he's on his little uh, 4-day weekend, due to the holiday on Monday, whatever. And
Yeah.
then we caregive for my brother-in-law who has dementia. He's only 47, and so it gets a little crazy. But neither here nor there. But yeah, man, I was like, what if I got this because I figured it would be a tool to help me out. I primarily want to virtual in Ohio, but I live in Washington State right now. I live in a suburb of uh, Tacoma. Actually, I live closer to Tacoma than I do Seattle, which is nuts. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, and with the costs being, near or at where he said is, hey, you're at your threshold. If
Uh-huh.
properties are more than, you know, 450, 500K, it's like nil. But I was like, okay, I got that. People still die here,
Sure.
right?
100%.
and so I said, okay, maybe some of the other methods may not work, but I know people are still wholesaling here. So, because I see a lot of the We Buy Houses signs, and I've even called a few just to test out what's happening here, get the pulse of things here. So I was like, okay, well, I do need to do virtual for sure because I know Lucas County a lot better. Um, but here, as we've been here a couple of years now, I'm learning the area, and there are some viable places to wholesale here. And I just picked up one buyer, or actually two, because I needed to know, hey, who the heck's buying here? Because if someone's buying here, I can find something to funnel to them.
Sure.
So I I full story. I started following Rick and Zach a couple years ago, totally um haphazardly, but I liked what they were about, and I was like, free. Okay, let me see what's going on here. And the information was so legit and so refreshing, and they not holding nothing back. They're telling you, okay, in order to do deals, you have to move your AFF. You have to actually do stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm with it. What do I have to do? So I started following him, and understanding and learning, the foundational stuff. I've um, gone through the course, and I repeat things in there because I need repetition. Um, um, I have a I have a hard time with memory issues sometimes. Injury through the military. I'm a veteran, but I write things down, and the repetition helps for me. And so here I am today. I went to the last event they had in October, and I was totally pumped up. And I primarily here while I'm in Puyallup, Washington. I do a lot of driving for dollars, and
Nice.
there's a ton of ugly houses, and I put sticky notes on the doors. But I just constantly do that, and because I'm here, I can't. I'm in a locale where it's said to be pretty difficult to um wholesale in. But seeing as I'm ignorant and I want to be a dumb wholesaler, I can't let that stop me. I'm gonna still attempt, but I don't know the functionality of go high level like that. And so I hit these roadblocks because I get in there and I I'm not understanding until you just explained how to convert that document to what our that system will accept, and I didn't know that, and so I just took pictures and wrote the notes down, and I was like, okay, that explains a lot because I was like, I was trying to put in lists, and I was like, dude, how am I? What am I doing here? And so I was spinning my wheels,
It can get pretty
and
overwhelming. It can get over because you're not just learning a new platform. You're learning a new business. You're learning a whole new side of you, right, as a person, which is even more intense than learning a new software, right?
right,
It's kind of crazy. And I'll be honest with you, Latasha, the only reason why I like Go High Level so much now is because I got good at it. And the only reason why I got good at it is because I just decided to be boring and just keep at
oh,
it, and keep at it. And that's the only reason because I'm just like you. I don't necessarily like new technology. Now I will find myself to like it once I get good at it. And the only reason
right.
why I get good at that technology is because I kind of feel forced, right? Like in 2021, when I learned about Go High Level and I started using it and I started seeing all the things that it did, I kind of felt when I saw the capabilities, I was like, I kind of feel forced. I feel like if I don't use this software, it'll just hurt me by not using it. So therefore, I kind of forced myself to learn it. I learned it, and now I enjoy using it. But if not, then kind of like you, like I don't have the patience for that. That's why I was 15 minutes late to the Zoom call because I was having technical issues, So it's just a learning curve, and I'm glad that I was able to
Yeah.
do some of it.
Yes, I totally appreciate that. And you know, I I was like lightweight embarrassed by it. I was like, you know what? Damn all of that. I'm in a group of people. We're
Mm.
all just trying to get it done and make it happen. And I love that. And thank you so much for creating this group because I do have crazy stuff that happens between, you know, the caregiving piece and then the baby, well, he ain't a baby, but
I can't
he's,
imagine.
and so it gets a little bit frustrating because, I have to be really precise with how I'm allocating my time,
Yeah,
and I am learning, and I don't mind boring, you know,
that's what makes the money.
because I need the progression. I need to keep going, keep getting at it. So um, that's cool. That's great. I totally appreciate it because I was like, why can't I put this information in? It's formatted improperly, and I was like CSV. I'm not used to you know dealing with it so much.
Yes,
So that's
CSV.
huh.
I'm saying, what is a CSV? Like, what the heck is this?
Right, right. And so, I'm used to drag and dropping stuff because it's just, what you're used to, but formatting is important. And then next thing I wanted to ask you, I started going to the courthouse here
Okay.
to get the probate list. I'm still kind of working on water shutoffs and code violations. And I'll still be persistent. I mean, I'm like, lady, you see me get the probate, so it's still the same lady that I'm going to
You
get the
know
other
I'll be
stuff.
back.
It's like you just want to knock
No.
him in the head a little bit. Like, come on, lady. So it's just the different information, but it's no worries. I'm still keeping it cool, calm,
Yeah, to.
and she's gonna keep seeing me, and she's gonna get to know me over time because I'm looking at a picture of her dog, and we I try to get a couple of words to build rapport, but they're like at next, like okay, well I'll let you, but I'm still in there.
Yeah, and the more that you show up, the less they're gonna give you like a hassle for it because they're just gonna be like, she ain't giving like she's gonna keep showing up. So
I am definitely gonna keep showing up, so there's no worry about that.
I uh
And
I want to add something super quick, Latasha, because I was doing a little bit of research while we were talking. So, two markets that you need to focus on in Washington, definitely Spokane, and I may be butchering that name, but it's definitely Spokane, Washington. You got to look into because medium sold price, we're looking at like 405, like
yep,
420. So,
yep, just did some research myself.
yeah, and population is strong. And then another smaller one that probably people don't know much about. Population is a little bit smaller. It's 56,000, but I'm telling you, 56,000, you can make like you there. That's enough. Okay. For a city, that's enough. I've done like it's definitely doable. Olympia,
Olympia, yeah,
got to look at
yeah.
it because Olympia,
And that one, it's a close drive for me.
yeah,
30 minutes,
yeah,
35 minutes or so. I'm in there. We've been exploring it, me and my spouse, and I was like, oh man, this is probably doable.
yeah.
And so I've been and we're by a military base, so I thought maybe that could offset it. We have Fort Lewis or Joint Base Lewis McChord. It's an Air Force Army base that combined itself. We have a Marine I can't Camp Smith or something here, and we have Bremerton. It's a Navy base here. Like we have even Coast Guard. I don't know where the hell they are, but they're here.
People are
So
definitely wholesaling in the state of Washington. I would recommend in Olympia specifically to look at zip code 98584 and 98531. Out of the three zip codes that Olympia has, those are the two cheap ones. It looks like 98502 like reaches the 550s and 600s as to where the
mhm.
other two that I gave you are in the low fours. So you definitely want to stay
Yeah.
outside of Olympia.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it's just those little tidbits and tips is why I'm just so glad you created this. And it's a little bit more intimate and not as overwhelming as the big groups. So
It can get a little
again,
crazy there.
so appreciate it. I still rock with them all day long, but it is what it is. And I'm just happy I got the chance to kick it with y'all.
For sure. Well, I appreciate the support, Latasha, and you know where to reach me, of course. If
Absolutely.
did you have any particular questions?
Um, at this time, no, I kind of didn't know what to expect on the call because I knew we would be introducing ourselves. I had no idea on how big or small would actually, the folks with their schedules and how many people would show up. But
Honestly,
I'm
didn't
just
know what to expect either. I was just kind of like, whatever happens, if it's one person on there, if it's two people, whatever. Just I know somebody will be on there, and then we'll. I like talking real estate with anybody, so um.
absolutely.
Sure. Well,
But thank you so
you know what
much.
time if you have any questions throughout the week and we're not on a call, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Um, I we definitely went over, and I don't mind. I knew that was going to happen, so I'm glad that we did, and I appreciate everybody that kind of stuck through. Does anybody have any particular questions that maybe I didn't, call on you or I see Ace in here. I see my boy Phillips. I see Danielle. I see what's going on, guys. That's I see Martha in here. That's love. That's just love. I appreciate that.
Come on, man. You did this. We got to show you love, bro. Like this
Going
is
on.
big. This is big.
Thank you, thank you,
Is
thank you.
today your birthday, Luca?
No, it was on it was 2 days ago. It was on Friday. It was the 14th.
Bro,
Oh,
that
happy
was your birthday, hey,
Happy
bro.
belated birthday!
Thank
birthday.
you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, me and my pops actually we share the same birthday. So
Wow.
Oh,
uh,
nice.
Yo, bro.
we went to Colorado over the weekend. It was beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
So,
Love, bro.
One quick question, and then I can do introductions and stuff some other day. But in the X leads for the CRM, I don't like when I download my properties and
Yeah,
it's saved to a file. Where is the CRM in X leads?
for sure. So you're not talking about Ninja mode, right? You're talking about strictly X.
And I think is Ninja mode. I'm just the low level. Like so is Ninja mode at the next level?
So Ninja Mode is just it's like the texting platform. It is the dollar that now everybody's kind of merged into. To where what we do is we grab everything that's skip traced from X leads and we pour it into Ninja Mode, which is go high level, and we start marketing to them, right? Whether it's email, text messaging, or calling. Um,
Okay.
but it sounds like
Just
what you're talking about is in within X leads itself, right?
right. Is there
Right.
a CRM in X leads?
Yeah, 100% there is. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see. And I'll be honest with you, I actually don't use X leads as a CRM. I use X leads every day, but I don't use it for a CRM. So we may be kind of like playing around with the system together right now. But I did use the CRM in it before, right? So just kind of bear with me while I share my screen here.
What do you use? Google Docs?
No, I still operate everything out of Podio. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And then I do use Go High Level because there is a CRM in within Go High Level. Um, and I use that as well for my texting leads. So you upload a list, is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually just did one not too long ago. It was a very small niche down list. So they go into here, right? Have you ever noticed that part when you upload a list
Yeah.
of my leads? So if you actually
Uh-huh.
use X leads as a CRM, what you would do then in this case, which I don't, all I do is once I add them into my leads, I download them and I, do the lead trace and the valuations, right? That's really all that I do. And that gives me the phone number and my ROS value. But in your case, you're not doing that. You would just save them to the CRM, right? So
Okay.
yeah, let me see if I could just do if I could do all of this matter. And then after you save to CRM, if I'm not mistaken, what happens is you go to properties, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And this is essentially the CRM. And there is also another part in here that's called the Scrum board. So like for example, let's add BlackRock Court. So this is your list of 100 people that you just added, right? And now you're going to they're not leads, they're prospects, right? Can we get some leads? So you're gonna call them, you're gonna what marketing are you doing, Janice?
What marketing? Reverse driving for dollars.
Okay.
And but
Yeah.
I'm in Ohio, so we have had nothing but ice and snow for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and I've been driving for dollars, but I didn't do reverse driving for dollars because it was too cold to keep getting out of my car. Um, so and then I'm just trying to figure out another list that I can start working on when I can't get outside.
For sure.
Um,
So let me ask you, you say you're driving for dollars, but you're not putting the stickies out, and that's good because you're gathering intel, right? Ugly properties, where are they? But so what are you doing with that intel? Like, are you calling these people when you get home, or are you texting them? Are you doing anything to them to market to these people?
Right. So, so I have my I have tons of addresses and stuff that I've printed out
Yeah.
from X leads once I put them in there. That's the thing. I have not started doing anything with them because I've been relying on my reverse driving for dollars. So today, I was thinking I would start cold calling, but that was one of the reasons why I did reverse driving for dollars because I didn't want to cold call.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I would maybe text, but while we're on that subject, then is that okay? Is it okay to just shoot them a text? And if you do you do it the same way I would do my sticky? Like, is my text saying, hey, this is Janice, I have a quick question about your property, or do you just reach out and say what to them?
Yeah, good question. So my script is a little bit more like not so straight to the so like this is I literally say hey, this is Luca. I was out in Plano earlier. Noticed 123 Main Street. Is this John? And it creates like who the hell, like, like who, yes, this is John. Like what? And I'm just looking for a yes, right? I'm looking for them to engage with my text message and to tell me one or two things. No, this is not John. Yes, this is John. If they say no, this is not John, I hit them with the wrong number, and the system does what it does. It changes number one with number two, and then it tries it again. If it says yes, then I engage and I say, I appreciate your response, John. Are you looking to sell the place? Right. And this is what Zach, I guess, coined as the double whammy approach. And I've lived by this approach since he's like let it out, I think like 2022. I mean, ever since. And it's worked great for me because it creates curiosity. I get a ton of responses. I think my response rate is like 82, 83% in my go high level every month. And it's really, really high for text messaging in today's world. So yeah, that's kind of my approach. And there's really only
So
like
if
4 or 5 responses that you get from these people after you
Mhm.
are you looking to sell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you say, are you John? If they say no, I mean, do you ask them then, are you the owner of this property? Or do
Sure.
you just,
So if you don't have, so like just to give you an idea, my go high level right now sends out about 25 to 2,800 text messages per day. Okay. So it's pretty, it's hot, like it's a high
yeah.
volume account. Um, but if you're doing it, sometimes I honestly, Janice, I tell you, I wish that I was doing it in a smaller scale, because when you are doing it in a smaller scale, you can pay attention to details a little bit better. And when you pay attention to details a little bit better, you stand out to sellers a little bit more. And when you kind of do mass marketing, like I've gotten to the point to do, you kind of just now fall into the same ocean that everybody else falls under. And, it's just, so to answer your question, how I should be doing it when somebody says wrong number, or this is, I would say, hey, sorry about that. While I've got you though, you got something else, right? Um, but I don't, or anyways, my VA doesn't, just because there's so much. And as soon as we get hit with the wrong number, we just hit a tag in the system that puts the phone number 2 in the field, and it tries it again, right? So we're just trying to essentially get to that person.
Okay.
But if you're doing it in maybe like a smaller scale, or you're doing it more manually still, to it's not as automatic, then yeah, sure, you can get more creative and say, hey, maybe sorry about that. Do you have anything else you may be open to selling? And that can create, a whole other conversation. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So that's really what I wanted to verify, was that texting is okay versus calling them first.
Yes, and then going back to what I was trying to show you in XLead. So, you have your list of 100, right? And now it's a list of prospects, not leads. You just know that
Right.
they happen to own a house right there. Now you got to call them or text them and find out, okay, so let's say you call 400 Black Rock Court and they say, absolutely no way, get me off. I'm gonna sue you tomorrow if you call me again, right? That person I'm probably gonna delete. If they just say, no, or not selling, or I'm just gonna do like a long term, but only time I would delete is literally if they were to get, nasty like that. But let's say that instead they say, you know what, yes, I am looking to sell. You can actually add BlackRock to the Scrum board. Oops, what happened to it? I did something to it. So you select it and then you add it to Scrum. Are you sure you want to add two properties to the Scrum board? Sure. And then you can actually come down here and you can see them on your, board, I guess. And you can actually edit this board too, by the way. Um, you can put like appointments and stuff like that. So, um,
So, so where was the Scrum? I don't see that in my information. Is
this
it because of the plan that I have? That I
No,
don't
the Scrum board is, if I'm not mistaken, the Scrum board is just
so manage?
I don't want to I mean, please correct me guys if I'm wrong or if anybody else is listening to this, but I'm pretty sure the Scrum board is just basic feature. It's you don't have this tag right here.
The Scrum board should definitely be basic. I would definitely reach out to support.
I don't have manage at all on my side.
I don't
On
either.
okay.
Okay. You guys should definitely. So now one thing, power linking, is a like what's it called? An advanced feature, I guess, if you will, because that's like the buyers, but like documents, Scrum board, calendar and tasks. That should be included, right? So yeah, no, you should have definitely out of the manage, you should have Scrum board, documents, calendar, and tasks. So. I'm glad that we're having this call. Definitely Tanya. I think it was Tanya that said something about it. And then Janice, I would reach out
Yeah.
to what's it called? And you guys are both in school, right? The school group for X Leads?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
what's this guy's name? Dude, that man in there is a beast. Joseph.
Okay. I've probably talked to him before about something else, but
Joseph is an animal. I mean, he's really good. He's really fast and he understands Go High Level really well. So I would definitely reach out to him if I were you guys and just ask like, hey, are these basic features that I should also have? And I don't know if you want to maybe jot them down while I have them showing up on my screen.
yeah,
But
because I don't have it. I do have power linking, which is funny, but it's at the top of my leads page.
you have power link. So power linking is actually an advanced feature. That should be like the buyer's feature that's advanced.
Uh-huh.
Or like you can plug in like your deal. And then if you have buyers in your CRM, it'll say, okay, well, based on the information you said about 123 Main Street, we believe that John Doe will be the best buyer in your CRM. That's
Oh, really?
yeah, so that should be advanced. So it's
That's
funny
funny.
that's kind of thrown around, but it's all behind the scenes. They'll fix it for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, good.
Yeah. But that is the CRM right there.
Okay. So I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, and Jenny, sorry, real quick. I think Danielle may have a question. I'm assuming I'm probably related to this, right? What's going on, Danielle?
Yeah, because I'm sorry.
Oh,
Hi,
what's
everyone.
going on? How you doing?
Good. Thank you. Happy belated birthday again.
Thank you.
My question really was about, okay, so while you're in X Leads, right? Because I was trying to help somebody with providing them a skip trace list. So is there a way for us to separate the lists according to like what we downloaded, like according to the day or whatever filter we decided to use, or does it all go into one pool?
It's a good question. And you know me, Danielle, you specifically know how I have my prop stream set up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So And that
And
was
I'm actually used to prop stream too for the little bit of time that I had it. Even deal machine, I still have that. And it's very good with separating everything. X leads, I don't see that.
Yeah,
yeah.
because I noticed that when I go in, like when you download your leads that you have, your property leads, then even though they're in a separate document, they're still showing in the
Right.
corner. So you just keep adding to it.
Right, exactly.
Danielle, the only way to keep that organized. So like, you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right, so let me show you how, and I think Ace knows this too about my prop stream, but I I think Danielle, there's only one way to do that in XLead. So this is what they're talking about. So here on my prop stream, so like I have absentee owners, I have arrest records, I have child support liens, I have code violate, damn lights. I have code violations, I keep evictions. I mean, you name it. If
Right,
there's a list, I have it, right? And I keep
right,
everything organized in a folder. The
right.
only way I think you can do this in here, Danielle, is through these right here, tags.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only, and I don't like it. That's the only reason.
Okay. I didn't even notice that. So
Yeah,
that's good.
that's the only
Okay.
way that I would know. And I personally, again, I don't like it as much as prop stream. It is because, I guess I'm used to this and I've been had this for 4 years now almost. So um I've been building it as such, but this is a way to do it is by the tags. And then so like I don't know, maybe just selecting. I don't think it's that convenient to do, but
Yeah, it's not.
you would then do edit, you would then do tags, and I don't have any tags created because I don't, use it, but you would be able to then do.
But we would, okay, so for instance, in a list of 17,000 leads, we would have to like manually go in and select them, even though they do have the tags. Because is the tag going to be able to pull it up from,
Yeah.
just for it to be that specific list? Like that's the part I'm just.
So say you upload them in here, right?
Mhm.
And again, I'm gonna add these. No, I don't need to do that. They're already in my CRM. Okay, so then I go here into properties. Um,
It's okay. I don't want you to waste time on it because I've already put in a ticket. Like,
no, we're not wasting time. Yeah, no, there's no way to do that. There, you would have to do it.
manually. That's
No,
what I.
no, 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 no. Boom, down here. So like, it's still a little bit manual, sure, but it's not as one by one. So you can open it up to 100 and then select the entire list and then edit, tag, and do that for about 17 times.
Okay.
How do you create the tag? How do you create the tag
Good question.
if you
Let's
don't?
see. Create. No, no, no.
Um,
Right here. Hold on. Sorry. And why? This is so.
and when also while you're looking for that, when you selected all 100 or whatever, did you go to the bottom and just click at the bottom?
I did.
I didn't know what you did. Okay.
Yeah, I'll show it to you again, but yeah, I did. Custom fields, there is a contact label, property label. There's a way to where you can, and this goes to show how I don't use this for a as a CRM. I really don't.
Yeah, a lot of us are not. I don't think I could ever get rid of deal machine. Mm-mm.
No, the way that I have my prop stream set up, I'm not gonna delete prop stream, and that's fine. My um gold in like X leads and the value for me is the of course ninja mode itself because I that's one of my main marketing right now, and then the skip tracing. Other than that, and then of course, yeah, I'll pull lists, but I'm more of like a government list type of guy. So I'm not a big fan of just, lists.
Yeah, that everybody has access to. Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, Janice. I'm not sure how to create a tag. That's a good question.
That's all right. When I reach out to Joseph, I'll ask him that same question, and then maybe I can share it with.
Please share with the group because I guess I shouldn't know because I should only know if I used it, but I feel like I
I
should.
I just found out that we oh wait, go back up to the right and then look at that the filter thing. I
Yeah.
think it's there. All the
So
way up on the screen to the right.
yeah, sorry, Janice, real quick. This is where I wanted to show you again. Select the entire list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right. So you're talking about right here, Danielle?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. No, I thought that maybe there would have been a way to edit it there.
Oh,
But I just found out the other night when I decided to dissect the ROS triple tap video, I
mhm.
had Zach drunk on there because I really wanted to slow it down to follow the steps. And I did create the sheet and everything, but then I realized I didn't have the workflow in there.
That's weird, Danielle. I don't know why I would do that though.
Yeah. I mean, I did send an email for that, but I have since gotten it taken care of through someone else. But yeah, I didn't have it. I didn't even know.
How long ago since you submitted the ticket?
Oh, just it was like 3 in the morning, maybe Thursday.
Ah,
Thursday.
okay. Um, and you try to reach out to him through school?
No, because I'm not. I'm tired of chasing folks. I'm just gonna try to do whatever I can to get whatever I can. I mean, that's where I'm at, really.
Yeah. No, but it should still be fixed though, Danielle.
Yeah, but then I got a VA working on it, so I'll just do it through that and just be done with it. I have other questions that they still haven't answered. So,
Like what?
uh, like moderator stuff, like are like they just pulled the 250 today, or is that something that we're supposed to get, complimentary, or is it still, that's real because being promised something and not getting it is kind of frustrating. So
That's huge. I would let's reach out to him about that.
yeah,
Let's reach out to him about that. Yeah, because a lot of times I don't think it's a matter of them not wanting to do right and or not wanting to, like, but it's just because there's always so much BS going on.
yeah,
Always
I
so
get
much
that.
stuff happening. And I can speak on that in my little bitty tiny world, right? And I can only imagine on their scale. So,
I
but
get it.
you, it's like, shoot, it's 250 a month. Like that's a big deal,
I've
right?
been paying that since they came out with it. I always get the top plan of everything. Don't ask me why, but I did.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you support. So you should be giving that back, right? So we'll let's talk to him. I'm sure that is just a miscommunication.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have. And I think everybody pretty much see me around. I've been doing this for 2 years now. Technically technically since I met Luca, to be honest with you. That's when I really took it serious in October of 23 or 4. I can't even remember.
Yep.
But yeah, that's when I really started taking it seriously and I got rid of my other obligations that took my time to really focus in this. So yeah, I'm ready to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing good.
You're a huge asset to the community. I already know
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I was kind of like somebody earlier that spoke. Maybe it was Malachi. But I had gotten in 21, like right during the pandemic, I got in with a guru and paid that $4,000. And it was not good. So it kind of frustrated me and I walked away from it. But in the back of my mind was like, I really want to do this. But I have a 9 to 5. I love my job. I'll be honest about that. I work at a medical university and I work with the students and I absolutely love what we do for them. But it's just not, I don't know. They just don't pay enough. My husband had some issues and lost his job. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. He lost his job during the pandemic, and then he got some health issues and stuff in that, so he was never able to get back to that level where he was. So, and I had always relied on him. My job was like the fluff job, I could, and that's why I took it. And then I ended up falling in love with it, but it wasn't the money maker. So, but now it's like, I kind of want to do this for him because it's like he has always provided, and he just unfortunately got into a situation where he can't do it. And so, and my kids are older. The reason this old lady is in this group is because I still do have 3 kids. I had my kids later in life. I was in my late 30s. I have 2, well, one that lives at home getting his master's. My daughter's moving home at the end of February, and she had just graduated. So, but everybody's doing well. They all are doing really well with their careers. But I just feel like this is something I want to do for him because he has provided for us forever. I was able to stay at home with my kids and then get a job when I wanted to get a job. But since this has been like in the back of my head for the last couple of years, I'm like, this is what I really want to do. I don't want to try to, like, I don't know, take from people more than I need to. I truly want to help people. And I've had a couple deals that did not go through in the end. But like Lucas said, I learned from those. Like I learned so much from the ones that went bad because I went through the process as far as I could go, and it just didn't. I think I reached out to Luca a couple times too for like just some information, like, can you help me with this? And but I really want to do it, but I still have the family. I work a 9 to 5. Oh, weather is horrible right now, and in the winters, it's like, it's like all the odds are against me right now. But, when in a few weeks when the weather breaks and stuff, I can get back out to the sticky notes. But in the meantime, and that's why I reached out to you, Danielle, too, because I was trying to find another niche, like another list that I can work on when I can't do that, driving for dollars and getting out there. So I'm determined. I want to make this work. And it's not necessarily to replace my current job because I do love my job, but it's just for our family. Like, I feel like I need it. The kids' college is already paid for. Thank God we got through that before my husband had his issues. But, for us now this is for us so that we can retire and we can enjoy
our real estate, Janice, is that you can actually, if you play it right, you can actually turn, you can leave this off for your kids and they can leave this off for their kids, and it keeps on going, right? And that's the cool and kind of scary thing about real estate, if you think about it.
Right. And my older son is a real estate agent. I kind of introduced him into, even though he went, of course, they spend all those years in college. You spend all that money on college, and then he does nothing that has to do with his major in college. So, but he's doing really well in real estate, and I have used him a lot for comping and stuff. But
good, yeah, I think you're going to do really well. I think that with this group, Danielle, let's maybe talk about we've been talking about like the Georgia probates, right? And like what can we do with some of the stuff that we haven't been doing that we should be doing. Let's maybe find a way that we can plug Janice in and see that we can all eat from the Georgia probates.
Okay.
Because let's be honest with one another, and there's a couple things that we should be doing with those that we're not, right?
Right.
So which is fine because it's still getting us good results. Don't get me wrong, but let's get more results. And the only reason why we're not doing it is just because we always got so much other stuff going on. So Janice, we would benefit off of one another, right? Yeah, let's think about that, Danielle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think the probates, why I was thinking about that is because I love people and I do have a lot of compassion for people. So when I hear Rick talk about those kind of things in his videos, I'm thinking that is me. Like I could have these conversations with these people. I've lost both of my parents. We kind of went through the probate thing. And I mean, so Yeah, I really like that avenue. I think that would be a good fit for me. I'm just kind of stuck. I've been watching all the videos. I feel like I have the knowledge, but it's just that I don't know. There's just little pieces missing to put
Yeah,
it all
well,
together.
hopefully the point, and that's the point of this group, and hopefully we can get, we see it like get played out sooner than later, is to do exactly this, right? Is sometimes we're just kind of like Latasha, like she was just missing that very small part information about that CSV.
Right.
It makes that huge difference where it unlocks something to where so probates may be it. Probates may be your niche to where that it kind of gets you to unlock, right, your fullest potential, and then you grow from there because you don't want to do. Maybe it is probates that you want to do forever. I was talking to Danielle. I was like, what can we do? Maybe scale probates. I know Rick says that it's really hard, but when somebody tells me that it's really hard, I'd like to tell them otherwise and prove them wrong. So
To be honest with you, probates is not for everybody
it's
because
not.
you have to have compassion. Like a person like Janice, she's gonna do great. But like a roughneck who like it's not gonna work. They're gonna cuss you out. You have to be patient. You have to like nurture them in different ways than cold calling. The other they're different.
Yes, yes. And while people tell you that, oh, treat her the same as any other lead and don't, yes, because like you don't want to call them and say, hey, I know you're on the probate list.
Right.
But it's a different approach. It just is. And I think Janice, once you start calling on some of these folks that we're thinking about, you'll see exactly if you already have the experience, but you know what we're talking about. So
Right. Right.
Can
Yeah.
I add something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
sure, what's going on?
Um, when I was doing my old business, which was we owned a junk removal business, and I had to play counselor a lot because of hoarding, and I never called it hoarding because I never wanted to make them feel a type of way, so I
Sure.
would always refer to it as excessive content or
Okay.
something like that to just ease, because
Yes.
there's a level of delusion there that you know but a lot of I dealt with a lot of probates, and I didn't know what I didn't know back then, and entering into the real estate space, and they were some of my biggest clients at the time. They loved the personability of me. They, I was very honest and forthcoming, but also nurturing and caring, because it's one of those things where people that are going through probates, they're pulled in all different directions. There's so much, different emotions. And that you have families that fight over money and
Okay.
property or content that's inside the house. I mean, I was dealing with all of that from all different directions because, most of them looked at, they're just a junk removal company. They don't care. No, what we used to do is it was multifaceted. We would donate everything we possibly could donate, whether it be to a veterans organization, Goodwill, Salvation, wherever it was needed. But the folks that were in probate, they actually, once you there's a point, a little tweak, that once you build just that slightest bit of rapport and they feel like you're on their side a little bit, I found that it opened everything up. It
Oh
it,
yeah.
it allowed for us to it allowed for us to do our job more efficiently and effectively. There were often cases where people had to not be home because they couldn't part with anything. There
It's
was,
what Latasha, it's
know,
what Rick talks about all the time is the being transactional, right?
yep,
Versus being
versus
a person.
that's trying to help and be there for,
Um,
yeah.
and that's why I was saying to Janice was that yes, you don't want to call and say, you're on the probate list and I'm calling you because of that, but it is a different call because you don't want to make it seem like they're your 100th call of the day or 500, even though they may be. You literally have to make it seem like, and your tone every time that you say whatever you say to pick up the phone it literally has to be the same exact way, like the first call of the day. Your thousandth call, your last call of the day, it needs to sound exactly like the first call. And it's hard to do because by your thousandth call, naturally, we're gonna be like, hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street or what? You know, like it's just gonna come out like that. But your job is to not do that and to make sure that it sounds as consistent and as exciting, right, as you did the first call of the day. And that's hard. So
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and when my dad passed away, he was the second of my parents to pass, so the property was going to probate. We have executors here versus the PR that you guys talk about. They're called executors, but it is funny, Latasha. You find out about your family more than you thought you would ever know when you're going through something like that. Like I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and we're all within 5.5 years of each other. So my mom just had 5 of us by the time she was 23, and so we were very close growing up. But then when we were going through probate, boy, the talons came out because my brother was the executor. He's the oldest, and it was just a nightmare. And it was like, oh my gosh. So you kind of learn from your own experiences what people
For
can,
sure.
even though I never thought our family, it ended up, my brother was like the hardest person I've ever had to work with. And I grew up with them. So, but you do, from your own personal experiences, you learn like, okay, I wouldn't ever want a family to go through that. So then you learn from it and you're like, okay, so let's show some compassion here. So I had to bring my brother down to a level that, yeah, I never thought he would raise to. And it was hard.
Did your brother take the I'm in charge route?
Yes.
Like, oh
I found the buyer for my dad's property, but it was never fast enough, good enough, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was a school. A school wanted our property because he had 5 acres and it abutted the school, and they wanted it for their soccer field. And so it was a long. Schools aren't a quick sale. Like, they have to go through all those board meetings and all that. So you just have to be patient, which is another thing, Danielle. I feel like patience is a big thing with probates, and I have a lot of patience. I can wait.
It definitely is. I actually saw a post, and I'll be real quick. I saw a post in school the other day that really took my breath. Like, the guy, he posted and said, what was it about? I forgot, like sharing or something. I don't know. But anyway, it was that he called a probate lead and he found out that the guy was 90 years old. And the guy like took him throughout his whole life story. He said it was like 2+ hours. But basically he was just asking, like, should he be talking to a seller for that long? And the comments, everybody in the comments said, you need to learn how to pivot. No, that's too long. You need to learn how. I'm like, no. And I started my response with, I know my background is going to get me in trouble in this industry, but I don't. You don't know. Pivot what? The man is 90 years old. He's asking for you to help him sell his 2 properties before he dies. If that's not a blessing, I don't know what is. And the fact that people are saying pivot, like, no, there's no script in this one. Like, that's just
Right.
how I see it. So I don't know. Some people are different in that way, but yes, ma'am, you are ready for probate. Definitely.
Yeah, I think based on what you told me, Janice, yeah, and what you're also telling me, Danielle, that I think the Georgia probates are going to be good, and I think I think it's going to be a good match for you for the times where you're not going to be able to get on the road, Janice, because weather doesn't permit. But even if, because the probates are not going to be tens of thousands of numbers, right? So there's going to be maybe 1,000 people, and you can kind of progressively bite into that list every day. And yeah, I think we can make. Danielle, what do you think? Every 3 months, like, is when usually, like, let's say like it's filed in November. This is when we start getting like traction for it.
Yeah, like oh my God, last week I got like 5 or 6 different calls from people that were getting letters in like November, December, because they do wait. they wait, like they'll hold on to the letter.
Just to give you a little background about me and Danielle, so I on a daily basis, and with her, I send them to her weekly, sometimes twice a week if I'm good, if I'm behaving that week. But every day, my VA provides me with Georgia probates for what is it, 13 counties, Danielle? And then I text them, and then I do what I do with them, but then I send them to Danielle, and she mails them. So she mails to them, and our agreement is that, when something hits, we have a 50-50 partnership to where she handles the seller and I present everything to my buyer. And so that's kind of what we have going on. So Janice, one thing that we are not doing, and that we should be doing, but there's always so much going on, is we're not calling these probates, right? So that's maybe something that if you're open to, maybe Danielle and you guys can kind of talk about that. She gets the data, so she would just essentially kind of pass it on to you if it's something you'd want to work with us.
Yeah,
I could teach you how to do the mail merge, the envelope merge. Like this is the stack that I'm about to work on. I don't know if the background.
Yeah, I can see it.
But yeah.
I saw your post.
And Danielle, it's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So I'm all behind. So last night I slept for an hour and a half. My flight was whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't care. But you're gonna get a big list of probates tonight, essentially is what I'm saying. Because I know Amy finished the list. Let's see how many she has.
Bring them on. I have Janice now.
Let's do it. I love it.
Yeah. I saw the post about somebody, Danielle, responded when you posted your envelopes. Something about glue, getting glue.
Oh yeah, glue poisoning. I thought that was hilarious, but no, I stopped that real quick when I saw that Sam's had the 500 pack for $15. I started getting those instead because the other ones were cheaper, but I would have gotten glue poisoning for real. It's annoying.
So I stopped counting, Danielle, but and I still had 4 counties left. This week we're already at 124.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So
I also love kitties. Here's my newest rescue.
Oh gosh. Hey,
say hi to Robbie.
And brother family.
My daughter rescued him though, but we've got 9 right now. I don't know if you guys read my thing. But we have to keep them separate because they're all from different, but they're all spoken for now. But they're fun. Yeah. Well, I have more room in the house now that at least one of my kids has moved out. So
the humans are gone.
Yeah. We're still with animals now.
Right. These are my new grandkids until my kids have kids. So.
Well, Janice, I appreciate you joining the group and making the first call. I look forward to working together, and I'm sure that I, and Danielle will speak a little bit more about that.
All right, great. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Tanya, I didn't get to speak with you. Al, I didn't speak with you. Phillips, Martha. Thank you guys all for joining. Did you guys have any particular questions before we adjourn it for tonight?
Sorry. No, I don't have any questions. But I'm sure I will at some point.
I'm sure. No, but you're gonna be an amazing asset. I appreciate you joining, Martha. I know you guys are killing it up there. And just for everybody, the small people that's in here right now, the small audience, you are in Wisconsin, correct?
Yes. Primarily in Milwaukee, but we are open to all Wisconsin now.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, you are going to be an amazing asset. I already know it. So, are you guys coming to Cali?
We are planning on it. Hopefully we'll be there.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta make this one. I didn't make the Orlando one, so I gotta make up.
I gotta make all of them. If I'm in the community, I gotta go. That's my vacation.
I didn't
We
even ask you, Danielle.
for all the work.
I'm going because yeah, that's where the connections are made. So
That's true.
Is the one in the fall in October? Do you guys know? Is it usually October?
Yep, it's
yeah.
usually
And that's in
October and
Florida.
April for the spring one. Yeah, and the one in October usually takes place in Florida. Yep.
Oh, okay, good. Because he said something about New York, and that is too cold over there.
Oh, no, that may be something new. Then, from my understanding, in the beginning, things always switch up. But from when he first started, he said that in October it's always going to be in the Florida, and then springtime is always going to be in a new destination around the states. But who knows? Wherever it's going to be, I'll always try to make all of them.
Me too.
Well, I recorded this. It is a long 3 hours. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. A few people requested that I do upload it, so bear with me while I find. So I'm probably just going to do YouTube to make it easier. But I appreciate you guys for sticking through the end for the first call. By the way, in case anybody asks, is because I had to practice it. It doesn't really like roll off the tongue that easily. It's RE&K, RE&K. I don't know if I like that sound, guys. I kind of rushed to put the group name together. I don't know, RE&K, RE&K. It
I
is what
like
it is. Well, maybe
I like it. It's appropriate.
It's not long.
it's not
The name of my business is LD Capital Solutions. That's long.
Royal Group Realty. Royal Group. People are like Royal Groups. What? Like what?
Try saying my
RGR. RE&K, I appreciate you guys making it out. You know where to find me. Tonight I will make another small poll for this week's call coming up. So you guys, feel free to vote. But you always can text me and reach out to me if you need anything. So
awesome. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
you guys
Luca.
for making it out. Taking it
Thank
down.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your birthday weekend.
Thank you.
I know,
Bye.
right? Bye.
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 Bye-bye.